Hey, what's up? This is Paul Murphy. So welcome to today's episode of the Traffic Tube Secrets Marketing Podcast. And this is the first episode that I'm actually filming on YouTube. So this is a growth strategy I'm using so that people can watch it on YouTube and then find it on the podcast and vice versa, right? So some people prefer video, some people prefer audio. And also the only way to actually grow a podcast, which mine hasn't actually been growing up till now, is to get it out there, right? Get it out to people that can actually find your podcast. So I am now starting to do select episodes where I record. And in fact, the next 10 episodes that I'm going to be doing on the 10 biggest needle movers that have transformed my business, I'm going to be recording as well and showing you a video version and obviously having the audio version as well. So these 10 big needle movers, I actually recently did a webinar where I broke down each one of these needle movers, and it had such a big impact with my audience. Then I thought it was obviously wise to put it on the podcast and put it on YouTube as well. So I'm going to be breaking those down for you in each episode. And today we're also going to be breaking down step 1, but I just want to go through what the 10 biggest needle movers are, right? So first of all, we showed how we actually switched off ads and got free ads by keeping our videos on page 1 for many years. And this, when I say page 1, this is the top of Google, this is the top of YouTube, right? They used to be pages, now you kind of scroll, right? But the top is like the top 10 listings. So instead of paid ads, we switched to free ads, which is kind of revolutionary, right? And that's the one I'm going to go through today. But step 2, the second needle mover, was how this process also enabled us to build a highly engaged email list for free, right? And these emails actually get opened, and I'll reveal that in the next episode. And then step 3 is how we can sell products and services on autopilot without ads. So using this strategy on YouTube, we actually developed a magic evergreen traffic system. We put them in there, and basically this does all the lifting for us, all the heavy lifting. It's incredible. And step 4 is how we built a free lead magnet with no extra cost. So instead of us creating lead magnets like PDFs and things like that people don't use, we basically didn't have to create anything else. We just used what we had, and this suddenly became an incredible lead magnet that people actually use. So this completely changed the game for us. Step number 5 is how we got ultimate authority by getting omnipresence with our videos showing up together, clustered together. There's a specific thing we do. So instead of just one of our videos showing up, they all show up together. And that can be in positions 1, 2, 3, and 4. So imagine seeing that when you go and put a search term in, it's like seeing all the videos together. So that's step 5. Step 6 is how we built a highly valuable email list where our cost per lead was 0, right? So once we've set this system up, basically every single lead coming in is targeted. It's very, very highly valuable, but it's also costing us nothing, right? And that is a game changer for most businesses, right? And the businesses we're showing, the business what we've done. This is needle mover number 6. Number 7 is how you become the ultimate authority in any niche, pretty much out of the gate, right? Again, this is very, very hard thing to do, but once you implement this, you can do it. Also, how we built a 100% free retargeting campaign, keeping us top of mind for 10 days. So this retargeting campaign basically means that we no longer have to pay for retargeting ads on places like Facebook that used to be cheap, now very expensive. This does it all for us. Again, big needle mover. Also, how we got increased conversion, giving us 20 sale points instead of just 1, which is great. And that's needle mover number 9. And needle mover number 10 was how we reduced our refund requests. Literally now they hardly ever refund, and there's one specific thing we changed, and now people do not refund using this. And like I say, I'm going to be going over these in detail in the next 10 days. Then I'm going to give you my magic evergreen traffic system so you can go and implement it in your business. I'll show you how to do that on each one of these, right? So first of all, today we're going to look at needle mover number 1. And basically, most of this is going to apply to the magic evergreen traffic system. In fact, everything that I'm going through in these needle movers is all basically serviced by our magic evergreen traffic system, right? So if you want to grab that, by the way, if you want to work with us, just go to the show notes and go to isurffirst.com, and we'll basically give you this. We pre-build it for you. We basically work with you, get it firing on all cylinders in record time. And this is going to achieve everything that I'm going through in this 10-part series, right? This is like the best marketing system on the planet. We discovered it. We're very proud of it. And it's changing the lives of people that we work with. So, I'll talk a bit more about that later. But first of all, I want to start with talking about Facebook ads, right? Because Facebook ads are kind of broken. The thing is that Facebook ads back in 2009, I can remember turning on some Facebook ads and I spent $1,000 and I burnt that budget in a day. And I had a local community website called Brighton Socialising, because I live in Brighton. And it was pre-meetup, and I put this website up, and I literally got over 1,000 people sign up. So I must have been paying like £1 per sign up or something, because this thing suddenly just started to blow up, like incredible. So I switched off ads really fast, and I didn't switch them on again till years later when it was kind of saturated, right? But even then, Facebook ads were great, but even then, when I switched them back on in 2016, it was kind of not. It was hard even then to get going. So here's some of the problems, right? So Russell Brunson, for instance, is out there openly stating that that they are spending millions of dollars per month on Facebook ads, and they're doing this to create break-even funnels. Right, and one of his products that he's selling at the moment is $10,000, and he's not selling it on the phone. He's selling it at an event where he runs paid ads to, right? And he tells you this on his podcast, so it's not like I'm throwing stones or anything. That they're doing this to break even, right? Now, this is the problem we're up against, right? Because if Russell Brunson's doing this, right, and he's the best there is, how on earth are we expected to get results? Now, he obviously trains on all these strategies. But the problem is, if you can't beat Russell, who can you beat? It's kind of, it's like that's what we're up against. So this is the problem with Facebook ads. So it's not the place I recommend anybody go when they're getting started, right? What will happen is you'll take your budget over to Facebook ads, right? Let's say what you've got say $10,000, right? $10,000 to get your product off the ground, get it promoted, get it winning, right? Now, your budget for your business generally is marketing, right? Because once you've got your product and everything, it's like, well, everything you've got now has to go on marketing. You have to get it out there, right? And what everybody does is they'll go over to Facebook, right? It's still the number one place that people go to. But what happens is that when you don't have any data, you don't have anything going, you'll take your data and you'll go and basically spend it all on your Facebook ads. And then by the time Facebook starts gathering enough data to find the right buyers for you, your budget's gone, right? And does that sound familiar, right? Some of you guys are thinking, yeah, this is me. Some of you guys are probably thinking, I haven't done this yet, but I don't want to do this, right? And I don't want you to do it either. I don't actually run Facebook ads at the moment just because of this, right? So Facebook ads at the moment, obviously got a number of built-in problems, and you might be thinking it's a trap, right? And it is. It's kind of like, whoa, what's going on, right? So I want to give you a quick case study. So Richard Branson, back in 1986, kind of didn't even go back far enough. He had one of the biggest independent record labels in the world. He had acts like Culture Club in the 80s, Janet Jackson. He had some of the biggest, Mike Oldfield, if you remember him, he did Tubular Bells, which was in The Exorcist, if you ever saw that. And he basically had, it was worth about £30 million. And he was island hopping around islands in the British Virgin Islands. And he was looking at Necker Island with his wife, Joan. And he got stranded to get home, and he needed to get back to his record company because all the flights had been cancelled. So what he did was he went and chartered a plane, which cost him like an arm and a leg, right, to charter this plane to get him home. But he had a bunch of seats that were empty, and there was an airport full of people needing to get home. So he just got a bit of card. He wrote on there, Virgin Airways, $100, made it up on the spot, right? Walked around the airport, filled up all the seats on the plane in like no time at all, obviously. Like Marketing 101, solve a problem, right? So he solved the problem. And he got everybody home to basically back to where they got to. he made a little bit of profit. So by selling all the seats, he had basically covered the cost of his plane and pocketed a little bit of profit. And because of this, he got inspired. He was like, well, he turned around to his wife and he said, I want to start an airline. And she was like, are you sure? And then he went back to his record company and he told all the directors, I'm going to start an airline. And they were like threatening to leave. They were not happy. Most of them, like not most of them, sorry, some of them left. One of them, who he had actually grown up with, like his best friend had grown up with, left the company, right? And said, you're crazy, Branson. Like, what are you up to? And he said, look, give me a chance to like protect the downside. And what that means is that he was going to start this airline without risking the record company at all. And you're thinking like, and by the way, a Boeing 747 passenger airline was worth about 30 million at the time. His record company was worth 30 million. So surely he's got to bet the farm. He's got to risk one against the other some way or other, right? Well, no, he didn't do that. And you're probably thinking like, what did he do, right? So he got a directory of everybody who worked at Boeing, and he made it his 9 to 5 job to phone every single person who worked at Boeing till he got one person to agree to hire him a plane for 12 months, right? So what that actually meant was he could staff it, he could put everything in, but he didn't have to bet the farm. He didn't have to secure his record company against this new venture, right? And they call that protecting the downside. And what that actually means in real terms is that at the end of 12 months, he could hand the plane back. The record company is 100% safe. 100% safe, right? Now, he could lose a bit of money, but he's not betting the farm, right? So he kind of just made this one slight tweak, and that's how he became a billionaire, by the way, because the 46 companies that he then proceeded to create in all different areas, trains, phones, all sorts of things, right? Every single one of them, he started by protecting the downside. And he charges $150,000 to go and sit on Necker Island with him. And this is what he teaches. Most people don't do this. So when you take your $10,000 budget over to Facebook, you're not doing that, right? You're betting the farm because you're giving all of your money away, right? And obviously that's not a smart thing to do. So what we do is we are going to put our products and services, we're going to turn them into a video format on YouTube, right? Now, that doesn't mean we're putting ourselves on camera necessarily. We're going to do whatever's working in our industry on YouTube, right? So it's pretty straightforward. We go and see what's already working. We create a video that's already working in our industry. Now, in some industries, obviously, we're not putting ourselves on camera. We can use AI type videos and all different types of things, right? For e-commerce products, we're not going to put ourselves on camera. We're just going to showcase the product. If it's a local business, we're not going to put ourselves on camera. We're not going to showcase the product, right? So it just depends on the industry that we're in, whether we do that, right? But whatever we do, we're going to use the best medium on the planet, the most used medium, and that is video, and we're going to put those videos on YouTube, right? And the reason we're going to do that is because YouTube, right? Google owns YouTube for one thing, right? Biggest search engine on the planet is Google, and the second biggest search engine on the planet is YouTube. So all of our customers are going to Google and YouTube to search for us, for our competitors, for the reasons to buy our products, and for the problems they have, the pain points they have that are solved by our products, right? So there's an abundance of traffic. And of course, YouTube generates income for Google, so we get double bubble, right? YouTube's the second biggest search engine. Google's going to rank our videos straight away. So that means free ads, basically, with the best medium on planet, right? And you get top rankings on both. And because of that, we get an abundance of traffic. We can tap into as much traffic as we want because we're on the two big. This is like Times Square. This is like Oxford Circus. This is like the best real estate in the world because it's the number one, right? So, you'll know some of this, I'm sure, right? But this is the reality. But we have access to this now with YouTube, right? And it's 100% free. We don't have to pay a single penny to put anything up there, right? So what I want to show you today is how we're going to keep videos on page 1 of Google and YouTube for many years, right? And how this is like getting free ads, right? Because we can put them up there very, very fast, right? And this is, obviously my customers and your customers prefer video format. So this is, if you're watching on YouTube, I'm showing an image right now of the Magic Evergreen traffic system, right? And what we're going to focus on is basically, what we're going to do is we're going to create 10 videos, one per day, right? So if you can visualize, if you're listening on the podcast, we're just going to create 10 videos solving 10 pain points our customer has. So one per day, right? So we'll basically send them out over 10 days. Or if we want to, we can send them out over a month, but just do 10 videos, But basically, we're going to give someone access to them over a 10-day period, right? So we'll put them up on YouTube over a period of time, however long we want to take. It really doesn't matter. And what we're going to do is we're going to tag those videos with a keyword. Now, the keyword is the search term the customer is basically using to search for the pain point that's resolved by your product or service. So let's say, for instance, you're a dog trainer, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to create a video on day 1 where you're showing somebody how to walk on a lead. Day 2, and that'll be the keyword, how to get my dog to walk on a lead, right? They'll put that in, they'll see your video. Day 2, how to get my dog to be potty trained, right? Number 3, how to stop my dog jumping up on the bed, right? So on and so on. All the 10 main problems. And then you're going to basically give them everything they need. Now, you're probably thinking, but what if I'm selling a course or a whatever, right? Well, the fact is that it doesn't matter what you're selling. Everything is available for free on YouTube anyway. It's not the training that you're selling. It's access to you. It's access to your program. It's access to your coaching. It's access to your community. It's access to everything else. And not just that, if they are just purchasing the training, it's access to everything in one place, right? So we give away all of the gold, even if we're putting it inside a course. Why? Because I'll explain that a bit later. But basically, we're building know, like, and trust. And by building know, like, and trust, by giving everything away that they can get for free anyway on YouTube, this is going to work, right? So basically, we do this over 10 days, right? And then what we do, and this is how we get free traffic, right? So what happens is each time you put a video up on YouTube, you tag in the keyword, right? The search term. Now we use keyword tools. There's one on Google called Keywords Everywhere that we like, right? There's loads out there, but that's the one we use. And there's one on YouTube called vidIQ that I like, right? And they give you data for the different platforms, right? And that will tell you how much the search for volume is for the keyword. So you would just go and basically take your product and service, list out all the problems that your customer has, find the keyword for that, then create the video, right? There's actually one step I didn't mention, and that is that you go and research what's working because you want to emulate what's working. We have this PRISM framework basically where we go and research what's working first and then emulate it, right? It's really straightforward. You basically just put in that search term into YouTube, you see what's getting the views, and then we're going to model that, right? We're not going to steal it. We're just going to make sure that we don't reinvent the wheel, right? We're going to basically watch a few of those so that we know exactly what to create, right? So once we've done that and we've tagged the keyword, right, using that system, we put those videos up on YouTube and we've got 10 now. Once we've got 10 on YouTube, then we can start creating our Magic Evergreen traffic system that's going to get us unlimited free traffic. Now, what you'll notice is in the first 10 days, when you put each video up over that 10-day period, you get traffic for 24 hours, then they drop, right? And why that's happening is that YouTube says, oh, okay, a new video's up. I don't know where to place this. I'm going to look at the data. I'm going to say, okay, well, they want this keyword, so we're going to rank it for this keyword for 24 hours. We'll give them loads of views, and then we'll see what to do with it. But then it drops, right? Because millions of other people have done the same thing, right? So you've got all the competition out there doing the same thing. So you only get it for 24 hours. So it looks great for the first 24 hours, but then it drops. But this is normal, right? Do not panic. Then the next one happens and the next one happens. And then after 10 days, you've now got 10 videos that have got some traffic, but they're not getting any more traffic, right? But this is fine, right? This is where this magic funnel comes into its own. So we then put those videos into the magic funnel, right? Now we then present these 10 videos as a free 10-day course, right? So each one of these videos, we're going to give them as a 10-day course. And then what's going to happen is that every time somebody comes into this funnel, so we're going to be giving this free course everywhere and anywhere we can, right? Online, right? Now we can be giving it away for free. We could be paying for ads. It doesn't matter, right? But every single person that comes into this free course is going to watch these videos, right? Which we embed into a page from YouTube, right? So each of those 10 videos goes into its own page each day, right? So, and that page basically will have a link to your product, right? So that's how we're selling. We'll talk about that later on. But each one of those videos is embedded from YouTube. And it's really simple. We just grab the link from YouTube. We put it into the page, right? It's pretty straightforward stuff, right? But we send them to one per day because don't forget, they've just asked us for a free 10-day course, which is what we're delivering. Now, as they watch each of these videos, each video is getting watched away from Google and YouTube. And what that means to Google and YouTube is that every time it gets watched, it gets pushed up the search engine, right? And as it gets pushed up the search engine, more people are going to watch it because you're now basically getting more traffic, and that more traffic is getting fed back into offering this free course, right? So everybody coming, not only is the traffic coming from everywhere else, it's coming now from YouTube, right? So YouTube's now basically pushing it up. So it's like this Ouroboros, which is the snake eating its own tail, right? So, and I wanted to call it the Ouroboros system. So Ouroboros is like never ending because it basically, all the traffic, we put a link to our product and service, right, inside of our YouTube videos. And every time somebody watches it in the funnel, it goes up a bit more, right? More people are seeing it, more people are opting in. It goes, more traffic comes in, more traffic comes in, right? So each video is getting watched by the same people as well, pushes it up, pushes it up. Now, you're probably thinking like, well, why does that push it up the search engine? Okay. So I want you to think about this, right? If Harry and Meghan have a baby, right, and you go over to Google and you put in Harry and Meghan on the day that they have a new baby or they announce they're pregnant and having a new baby, right? What happens is that you'll see a bunch of articles on the front page of Google saying, Harry and Meghan having baby, right? And all you've typed in is Harry and Meghan, right? Well, how does Google know to place those articles at the top? Well, the spiders that Google and the algorithm and the spiders that are out there gathering all this data, right? Because Google gets access to all the data of everything. So what it does is it says, this site over here is getting 1,000 views right now. It's relevant, so we must push it up the search engine, right? This site over here is also getting thousands of views right now. So we need to put it on the front page of Google. And that's how it works. Basically, this is kind of search engine optimization at its finest. So basically, the more views something's getting and more relevant, Google pushes it up. Now, because the magic funnel's doing this Ouroboros constantly, it pushes it up and then it keeps it up the top and then it kind of claims the listing, right? So what that means is that your videos stay there at the top of Google and at the top of YouTube because Google is saying, well, these are carrying on getting all these views, so there must still be news, they must still be relevant. You see how that works, right? Pretty insane. So this is what this system does, and this is why it is revolutionary, because this is how we're getting free ads. So our videos are now pushed up to the top and they stay there, right? And no one will be able to outcompete you that doesn't know, unless they know this system, right? And this is still very like unknown, hardly anyone knows it. So that is how this works. Now I'm now showing a screenshot on the YouTube version of when Rory McIlroy did I say his name right? Yeah, won the US Masters. You can actually see here that I'm actually showing a screenshot of all of the news reports, literally 5 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours old. He'd literally just won, right? And that's exactly how it works. So it's exactly the same thing. So this is what we're emulating. So once you actually put them in this funnel's going to do all of the magic for you. And that's why we call it our magic funnel system, by the way. And that is how we get evergreen free ads. Now you can see here, I've got a listing here of one. When we actually posted it up, this is like 5 minutes ago. This is 11 minutes ago, because what happens is your channel starts to claim authority And then when you start putting other stuff up, it just ranks, right? This is one of my students 6 hours ago. So I'm showing screenshots of, on my YouTube channel, by the way, if you're listening on audio, of all the kind of case studies that we've got. This one was from Todd, said less than an hour ago since I posted. This is my first video for this product. I'm pretty happy with these results. Thanks, Paul Murphy, right? So, and he's basically got all these different listings that have gone up, right, as a result of this system. So in the next video, I'm going to show you needle mover number 2. It's how to build a highly engaged email list. But I want to give you a call to action, right? If you want to actually take advantage of this, I have pre-built the Magic Evergreen traffic system inside our gold membership for you, right? And when you join our gold membership, we're going to give you that for free. We're also going to give it pre-built. We're going to give you a tracking system, and then basically going to work with myself and my team. And instead of having to pay, $5,000 or whatever it is you pay for your ad agency and the money you spend on ads, our fee is much, much lower. Just go to iservefirst.com. The link will be around somewhere, and you can join us straight away. We'll get this implemented in your system so you can get rid of those paid ads. So yeah, in the next episode, I'm going to show you how you build a highly engaged email list with exactly the same system as a byproduct of what we do. So I'll see you on the next episode.